Hi, my name is Denise Plaza, co-founder of Active Health Systems, a company my partner and I founded to help people optimize health with natural solutions so you can live life abundantly without disease or medication, because we believe health is our most important asset. I'm here in this picture on the right side with my business partner, Jill Carlson, who's a Swedish holistic nutrition therapist. I'd like to talk to you today about wealth, not the wealth that comes in your pocket, in your wallet, but the kind of wealth that comes from feeling great. We're going to call it health wealth. We're going to talk specifically about 5 things you can do today that will improve your health and reduce your risk of disease. The changes in lifestyle that you can do can reduce your risk of disease by 80%. A single intervention strategy can cut your risk of disease by up to 50%. For example, if you're a smoker and you stop smoking. But first, let's begin with a question. How many people do you know who are in really good shape, living lives full of adventure, free of disease and chronic health problems like arthritis, diabetes, and Alzheimer's? And how many of you are experiencing problems with your health right now, like back problems, knee problems, insomnia, high cholesterol? I experienced chronic health problems when I was just 23 years old. I had a chronic infection and chronic migraines, which reoccurred so many times I started carrying around pills like a heart attack patient, until a friend of mine at work cautioned me that if I continued taking antibiotics, that I might not be able to have children later in life. At 23 and single, that's not what a girl wants to hear, so I set out to learn about different health strategies until I learned about natural remedies. And within 3 months, using natural herbs, my problems disappeared, my chronic infection cleared up, and my migraines stopped. I started feeling terrific, like a 23-year-old girl should feel. But I was too busy starting a career to learn about nutrition. I started running my own company, and then I had a family, and life was too busy until it got out of balance. Balancing work, marriage, kids overwhelmed me. I was on call 24/7 as the president of my company. I had staff, demanding clients, a husband, small children, and the balancing act became absurdly difficult. I started to experience all kinds of problems again. My migraines came back, backache, sleep problems, high anxiety, everything was out of balance. I had what some people call burnout. So I went to some doctors, and they attributed my problems to stress. So great, what do I do about stress? This is when I said to myself, it's time to stop the train, time to learn about my health. I needed to learn what was making me sick, and no one was going to give me a roadmap. I was going to have to figure it out on my own. Thank God for the internet. It was fantastic. It had amazing doctors and natural health practitioners, and I became very inspired. And although I hold a master's degree in international relations, I wanted to get a master's in human nutrition. So I set out to learn what makes the body tick, what makes it sick, and most importantly, what impact does nutrition have on health and longevity. I wanted to find out what makes not only good health, but what makes excellent health. The kind of health that sets your mind on fire, the kind of health where you feel exuberant every day, where your energy is high and you are happier with yourself and your world. I wanted to know what gives you exuberance, high energy, and mental acuity, and health is now my passion. I devote myself full-time to learning what makes people tick and what makes them sick. So this is what I want to share with you, the very practical, very natural ways to a healthier, more vibrant life. But before we begin, a few mentors who inspired this video. Dr. Christine Horner, whose mother died of breast cancer and who's author of Waking the Warrior Goddess. Dr. Mercola, who has an active practice in Chicago and frequently interviews experts in the field of natural health. And Dr. Servan Schreiber, who is an MIT-trained neuroscientist and survived brain cancer and wrote about it in his book, The Anti-Cancer Book. So what can we do to prevent health deterioration and disease? Let's begin. Strategy number 1, learn about the foods that heal and foods that harm, the foods that make you sick and the foods that boost your wellness. There's a famous quote by the Hippocrates, the father of medicine, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Food is your ally. It can help heal you when you're sick and it can give you strength. The chemicals in plants called phytochemicals give you many benefits, such as cancer prevention, cholesterol reduction, and they can regulate your hormones, to name just a few. But what Hippocrates could not have anticipated in the 5th century BC is the 21st century supermarket shelf. Today's foods are full of substances that the human body cannot recognize and has a hard time to digest. For example, gluten in wheat, milk without the casein protein, and high fructose corn syrup, all of which are hard to digest and can slow down your metabolism and lead to obesity. And obesity, as we know, is one of the leading risk factors in many diseases, including prostate and breast cancer and diabetes. The health challenge for the 21st century is to learn what foods make us sick, unhealthy, fat, and unhappy, and learn what helps prevent disease and boost your immunity and wellness. So let's remember that there are good guys and bad guys. The villains is what we really need to pay attention to in today's 21st century. And sugar is our biggest villain. It's the food supply for cancer, and it creates a welcome environment for other degenerative diseases. How much simpler does it get than that? The more you have a high-carb diet full of sugar, you increase your risk of cancer and degenerative diseases. And the more you reduce the food supply for these diseases, the better your health is. And this goes for refined flour, which has little nutritional value and which the body converts to sugar and then fat. Because basically refined sugar and refined flour is like telling your body to become a fat factory, and that's without eating any fat. The second villain is red meat. Unless you're a menstruating woman, red meat has too much iron, too many growth hormones, and antibiotics from growing practices, all of which are toxic to your body. And the cooking of red meat creates heterocyclic amines, which increases your risk of cancer, particularly bladder and prostate cancer. And finally, the saturated animal fat is a storehouse of toxins that can damage your DNA. So fats, bad fats in particular, help the cancer cells divide quickly. So if you have cancer cells, which we all do, you'll get more cancer cells. It's that simple. The highly heated fats in donuts and French fries, for example, create another substance called acrylamide, which is a known carcinogen. The good fats can reduce your symptoms of hypertension, depression, attention deficit disorder, rheumatoid arthritis. So learn what are the good fats and what fats to avoid in your diet. In our next video, we'll cover foods that defend and protect your body from diseases. But just to highlight a few, some of the foods that protect and enhance your health include berries and grapes, which have lots of antioxidants and vitamin C, green tea, which has a substance called ECGC, which turns on genes which have anti-cancer effects, cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower, and the salads. The leafy greens that you find in salads are particularly good to help protect you against aerodigestive cancers. Water dissolves all the nutrients and breaks the food into components our bodies can use. Water transports the nutrients once they're broken down, and water is the catalyst that creates the chemical reactions for metabolism, which gives us energy, and it manufactures new cells when our old cells wear out. Our bodies can go 40 days without food, but only 3 days without water. Why is that? Because water, pure natural water, is the most important nutrient in our diet. And one last thing, its ability to dissolve and move substances is essential to our body's ability to remove toxins. Without this process, our bodies become highly acidic, which is the beginning of degenerative diseases. Water is the key ingredient in detoxification, the next and potentially the most undervalued, misunderstood health strategy. Detoxification, the essential health strategy of the 21st century and brain performance enhancer. Detoxification resets the homeostatic button and brings your metabolism to base zero. It recharges the synapses in your brain. How? By removing the toxic debris that accumulates in your brain and your body. Detoxification takes out the garbage that has been accumulating in your house of health. It's the garage full of trash that piles up after years of exposure to toxins in your foods and alcohol, laundry detergents, dry cleaning, and, of course, the pollution in the cities that we live in. Because we live in polluted cities, take too many prescription drugs, and live stressful lives, and stress in itself creates toxins, our bodies are overwhelmed, and we no longer have the ability to detoxify naturally. Or at least we do detoxify naturally, but our bodies are overwhelmed because of the level of toxins that we have. Just as we take our car in for servicing to maintain it, we need to detoxify our bodies in order to maintain our health. So to remove toxins, you must learn what foods and activities help your body detoxify, or better yet, find a natural and safe method for assisting your natural detoxification. Strategy number 4, move your bloomin' ass. And that is to say, without exercise and physical movement, you cannot achieve good health. I hear a million excuses. You don't have time, too tired, too many other priorities, and the list goes on. The point is, if you don't move, you'll obstruct your own ability to remove toxins. Your immunity depends not only on vitamins and minerals, but also on the ability to move out the bad guys, the toxins, with the transportation systems in your body. That is, the fluids, blood, urine, sweat. Moving out the bad guys depends on movement of these fluids. Two of the major biological systems in our bodies are elimination and lymphatic. Our elimination system removes all the unwanted and dangerous substances out of the body through urine, feces, and sweat, whereas the lymphatic system is your anti-missile defense system. It's the Army and Navy health defense system. Without physical movement, none of these systems operates effectively or efficiently, and your digestion doesn't work efficiently either. It's physical movement that gets all the systems fired up, gets the blood moving, gets your lymph system to manufacture white blood cells that seek out and destroy the bad guys that make you not well. And when we're talking about not walking around the shopping mall, unless you're 80 years old and this is strenuous, we're talking about getting into gear, any gear, and doing something that is active, physically active. If you're not going to the gym, then walk. Walking is one of the most effective ways to stimulate your immune system. Walk around the building where you work, take the stairs 3 times a day instead of the elevator, take a dance class, or just put on your favorite music when you get home and dance for 30 minutes like a crazy person. But if you can't think of something, find something. Your health depends on your fluids circulating in your body, and your circulation requires movement. So shake it, rock it, walk it. But if you want to keep your health, you have to move it. Finally, the 5th and final strategy, decide to learn about natural health solutions and then make changes in your lifestyle that reflect your goal to prevent disease and be healthy. Health is like a journey. It begins with commitment to learn about what choices strengthen your health and which habits to break, because they weaken your health. Once you have a weak immune system and poor health, you have what I call crisis health management, an unhealthy state which usually requires dramatic intervention, hospital visits, and lots of medication. It usually results in chronic health problems, disease, or even death. Find a few trusted authorities in the field, follow their advice, and make progress every day. Be proactive, not reactive. Choose to live life abundantly, choose longevity, and decide today to create your own health wealth. Thanks. This is Denise Plaza. Thank you for listening. I hope it serves you. See you in Santa Clara.